Amazing.
Okay. Welcome everyone to the Unite Show.
Yay!
Thank you for being here with us. For everybody who's tuning in live, we've got a couple lives going here. We are doing a Zoom as well. And if you join the Zoom, then you get to see everyone's beautiful faces, not just ours. So the Zoom links will be shared in the comments as well as the descriptions of the live. So feel free to join us in the Zoom. In the Zoom, you can also, you'll get a little chance to share about your business, what you're offering the community, and if there's anything we can support with. So feel free to join us on Zoom. So the way we start the Unite Show here is we've got a couple of wonderful speakers lined up tonight, and they're going to each have a chance to dive in with us, but we're going to start and ground in the energy, because I know I'm all buzzy after my day. And we have the wonderful, talented, gorgeous, stunning Karen with her beautiful bowls of crystal, and she is going to help us all ground into this lovely evening. So Karen, would you please take it away?
Yes, thank you for that introduction. Oh, I feel so loved. Oh, okay. I invite everyone to just close their eyes and gently relax, allow themselves to get into this space as you listen to these beautiful tones.
who feels a million times better after they're that? So good. Karen, you are amazing. Beautiful magic. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm. We'll be getting to hear a little bit more from Karen in a little bit. And we just asked her to start us off with a lovely, juicy grounding. So, oh. I feel like I could just stay and listen to that forever. So the next part of our Unite show, if you're just tuning in, welcome to the Unite show. My name's Crystal. This is my partner, Cheyenne Kelly. We together are Unite, and this is the Unite show. We are going to do, one of my favorite things about gathering together is getting to connect community and hear from the community, and just get a little chance. If we were in a physical location, we would all be hugging and squishing each other's faces, but since we can't do that right now, we will make do with virtual hugs and intros. So we're going to start off hopefully keeping it a little brief, but give us a little bit of juice about who you are, a business that you have, or a project that you're working on, and if there's something that you need support from the community. And let's try and keep it a little brief. A great intro would be something like, hello, my name is Crystal. My business is Unite. We are building a health and wellness community connection platform for everyone to get to build community and share their offerings. So please come on and join us at www.unite.love. That would be a great intro. So who would like to start us off with sharing about yourself and something that you feel like the community would enjoy? No obligation to share either. I'd love to hear from you. And if not, just sit back and enjoy. So who wants to get us going?
I will start.
Yay.
So I'm Karen's mom. I'm a musician also, and we play together at times. She plays the bowls and I play on my flute. And we've recently moved to Whidbey Island in Seattle area. And where we are is the beginnings of a retreat center where we will be having classes on creativity, self-development, music. We'll see how it goes. It's unfolding right now. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks for holding that space.
Yeah. Please keep the Unite community updated on your progress and anything that we can support with if you're looking for any key players in the community. And
we probably will be.
once. Yay. Yeah. Let us know.
Okay.
That's our favorite piece, is getting to connect the dots and find the pieces to build our beautiful puzzles. So
that's one of the big future visions for Unite, is building a whole ecosystem network for all of the things that this community who are into wellness and spirituality and happiness need, including a map of all the sort of communities and what each one of them does, and if they need something or they need a specific type of person, to be able to make those connections seamless and then very instant through the technology.
Perfect.
So super excited. Yeah.
Yay.
Perfect.
Thank you for being
Thanks.
here. Who would like to share next? Everyone's just all blissed out after Karen. We should have done the shares first. Don't feel like you have to share, but we would love to hear from you. Kaisa, you're up.
Yes, well, I'm following after the mother-daughter team, and I am Crystal's. Oh my goodness, I'm having feelings. It's the music. Yeah. Okay, breathe, Kaisa.
Good job, Karen.
Oh my goodness! Now
This is my mom, Kaisa, everyone. She is an amazing support to Unite.
Did everybody freeze or was it just?
I'm not hearing audio. I see everyone here, but I'm not hearing audio anymore from,
That's you, Connie. Hi. Yeah,
Yeah,
Crystal.
it looks like we lost audio.
yeah, from Crystal.
Yeah, we are not, correct?
Well,
I
don't
can hear
worry.
you just fine.
They're just going to tune in a second, I'm sure.
Maybe I'll just go ahead and introduce myself quickly. I presume that I'm a transpersonal counselor, and my business is called Sunbeam Counseling. And what excites me is supporting people with their shadow work, their trauma work, and of course, reflecting back to them their true magnificence underneath their trauma, but also the magnificence, the skills we gain through working through our trauma, and the awesomeness that we all have is we all have trauma. We've all come through it and are still navigating, and it's an honor to be supporting people with this work. Thank you, everyone. Do we have them back? We do not have them back. Huh.
Does not look like we have them back. I am just 5 feet away from them, and so they said to just keep going with the introductions.
Okay.
So I will carry on with the introductions. My name is Curtis. It's a real gift, Kaisa, to see you flustered. It's been a while since I've seen you flustered. Kaisa and Shine and Crystal and I are all roommates. We live in the same house together. And I'm the adventure alchemist. My journey throughout my life has been to hold the edge of an adventurer and the edge of a spiritual seeker simultaneously without ever letting go of either of those edges. And Shine and Crystal, we can see you again, and I'm just going to wrap up my intro and then turn it back over to you guys. So spirituality and adventure have been the yin and yang poles of my life, the two poles from which I have evolved and become that which I am. And I like to say that the difference between my peers and I is that when my friends were giving up the daydream for the day job, I made the decision to fuck the day job, and I chose the daydream. And I knew that one day that would turn into my reality, and lo and behold, it has. So that's what separates me from my peers.
Good job.
Woohoo!
I like it.
Thank you so much. Sorry we glitched out there, everybody, but we heard that you were all taking care of it and happy to have a community that can hold space even when we glitch in and out of reality. So there you have it. So for anyone who's just joined and just jumped on the Zoom here, welcome, welcome. We're doing just a quick little intro. We've got about 10 more minutes where we can just have a moment to share. So share about your business, just what your business's name is, what it does for the community, anything that you need support with. We'd love a little brief intro. So feel free to share. If you don't want to share, that's okay too. We still love you. Yes, take it away.
Hello,
Raven.
I'm Radiant Raven.
Hello, Ray.
I don't have business right now. I'm kind of just allowing things to progress with what I'm inspired by. But I'm involved in a lot of stuff, including I love supporting Karen in whatever she's doing. So I'm her personal fan club with Connie.
We all need that.
Yes.
And it
I'm
isn't quite what I
also-
thought it was going to be.
What was that? Did I miss something?
Oh,
Okay.
continue. Someone just needs to mute.
Oh, got it. And then I'm also super supporting, like, basically my besties. So Viola is another word. So anything I can do to support them is fun. And I love their work. Their message is awesome. So if you guys haven't had a chance to hear them, you're going to love it. We just finished a retreat, and I'm still here actually in Miami after the retreat. So it's fantastic. blows your mind. And then I'm also kind of supporting my friend Gina Mallison, who's doing the Evoke method. And that's been really life-changing for me too. And I'm learning how to do the training for that. So that is exciting. So those are the different things. I'm kind of just supporting my community right now and just following my bliss. So we'll see what happens.
Amazing. Amazing, thank you. And it's a huge role to play, actually. And all of us birthing business babies and projects into the world, feeling like a single parent can be challenging. So anytime that we feel the community love and got our back, that's a huge role. We need all the aunties for our babies, that's for sure. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
Would anyone else like to share a little intro about themselves, something that they're working on, something that the community would like to hear about? Kelly, are you coming on? There's a couple of Kellys on. We've got 2 Kellys on here.
Hi.
Hey,
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
We can.
Great. This is so great. Thanks so much for having this, Shine and Crystal and everyone here, and just bringing this community get together. And the Crystal Bowls, Karen, were amazing. Really needed that today. Personally, I have had a challenging day. I don't know about anybody else in the room, but it has felt really like kind of pulling apart. And so, yeah, does anybody know how to install a French door? That's my immediate creative. But other than that,
we can put a message out to the community. I'm sure we'll get you covered. Curtis has his hand up. He'll come on by and help you with that.
Oh, Curtis, thank you. Yeah, I've got some pressure to get that in from the city. But anyway, yeah, just been working on a film, as my closest friends know, that has spanned over a decade. That is an environmental film. It's called Pave the Road, and it's a documentary about my children and I traveling to Costa Rica and realizing there's a problem with dust in open air schools, and all these kids getting sick in 7 schools, thousands of children getting chronic respiratory disorders, skin and eye and ear infections, and the government neglecting this community. And so in the film, well, we basically turn the cameras on ourselves, and we spend a decade helping this community by testing plastic waste in road construction to build plastic roads, and as an alternative for waste management, because the waste management process we have now are landfills. And landfills, well, the earth is running out of room for landfills. And so that's why there's so much plastic in the oceans. So that's what the film is about. We kind of take it on ourselves to create a waste management program, test plastic waste materials at a laboratory, and we just make a little 75-minute film about it. So I'm just in distribution mode. I've got distributors interested all over the world.
Can you share the YouTube link for the trailer in the chat here, and then Angie will make sure she shares that over to all the lives as well, and then everyone can see what you're talking about, because it's amazing.
Oh my gosh, that is such a great idea, Crystal. Thank you so much.
And give her some likes on the YouTube video as well. And it's really, again, very helpful, all the support that we can give her. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Trying to build
Lovely
an
to hear
audience,
from you,
right?
darling.
That's the thing, building the audience.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Exactly. We'll keep putting the love out there. So thank you, Kelly.
Good job.
Who else is going to give us a little momentary share of their soul? Got some lovely new faces on here today. I think everyone's just excited to hear from our wonderful speakers. If you're tuning in, we're going to be hearing from them in a few minutes.
If you want to share, unmute yourself, or you can put up your hand I think there's a reaction button at the bottom.
Yes,
You can
there you go.
just clap
Yay.
or whatever,
Yeah.
or raise your hand.
And if nobody else wants to, we've
Go ahead,
got one
Kathleen.
more.
Yeah, please.
Kathleen, come on in.
I just wanted to thank you both for putting this together. This is such an incredible community. You two are just so filled with love. And I love the community and everyone you draw to you and around you. So I'm just so appreciative to be here. And Karen, thank you for that intro. It was beautiful. What parts I got to hear, it made a huge difference. I'm Kathleen Whalen. I'm founder of Conscious Calendars, and I'm speaking next week. I just wanted to thank you all for putting this together. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. If you don't know, if you're just tuning in or new to this whole happening, the Unite Show happens weekly on Tuesday nights, although in June, we're actually going to move to Wednesdays and try Wednesday nights. So don't miss us on Wednesdays. If you want to be an amazing presenter, please reach out to us. And yeah, check out next week's event when you get to hear from Kathleen.
Yeah, and quickly, what Kathleen does is she's mapped, she kind of gives like a weather report, but for from like the planets, and it's kind of like, sometimes there's a little more energy, sometimes it's a little bit lower, depending on all the planetary alignments. And it's pretty cool. I've heard that even like Apple and different companies use a similar tool to plan their launches. And it's just very interesting. And I found it to
Oops. I think they froze again. Yes. I'm simply calling it a universal alignment and manifestation tool. So it is about the planets, it's Vedic astrology. And today was a purple day, by the way. So if you had a few obstacles, that energy can be overcoming some obstacles, like sometimes tech. So just thought I'd comment on that. I'm really looking forward to the speakers tonight. I don't know, should we, who else is helping co-lead?
Kathleen, I'm so happy that you confirmed that it was a difficult day and whatever the purple was. Yeah, I found it really interesting in terms of polarity there.
Amazing. Well, there you go.
again.
Oh,
Lindsay.
Yeah, we are having some difficulties with the internet connection, but we are figuring that
better?
out.
Lindsay, are you there?
I think Lindsay wants to
thank
speak.
you, Angie.
Yes, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Awesome. I don't know. I'm on my phone.
Jump
and so
on in, Lindsay.
Okay, I couldn't figure out how to do the video. So I just have a weird picture for my name. But I just wanted to say that I just love the energy that I can feel with this whole group. And this is the first time I've connected with this group. And Karen's sound bowls is just so intoxicating and just like pure ecstasy. Karen, yes, I just love you. And I just love that you can produce that sound and that vibration through your hands, your heart, your soul. It's amazing. And Raven, of course, you know, I love you and how you also just pull into that energy and feel it. And just it's like a bath, like a warm bath of vibration. And it's so good. It gets everybody right into the right energy. And Armand and Costa are near and dear to my heart. And I love them both very much, very, very much. And Wiola is something that's very special in my life as well. And I support them. I love them. I cherish them. I treasure them. And I'm actually an artist, and I let energy flow through me in the works of Abraham Hicks messages and actually Wiola messages. And I let the artwork flow with color and messages. And I have a website that's called icreatewithjoy.com. And that's where I produce and sell all of my artwork all over the world. It's just really been a fun adventure for me. I like what the other friend said about fuck the day job and just get into the daydream, okay? That's basically what I decided to do at one point in my life. And when I did that, my artwork started going off the charts. And I just kept creating and creating. And it's just been the most fun adventure. And I love sharing it with people. I love inspiring people. And yeah, I just love this life. And I love all this energy work that all of us are creating together. And so that's a little bit about me.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
beautiful.
Lovely.
Thank you.
So nice. Please do share the links to your site in the group chats so that everybody can take a look at that.
Mhm. And anyone else want to share very, very quickly? We want it to be done at 6:30, but we can push it a few minutes.
If anyone has something they want to share, we're also going to have time afterward for more shares. And for everybody who tuned in later and feels sad that they maybe missed the beautiful Karen that everyone is talking about, don't worry, we got more Karen coming up.
So just put your hand up or unmute if you want to share, and we'll give that a few seconds. Zachary.
Go,
Hey,
Zachary.
yeah, my name's Zachary. This is my first time joining the group. I was invited by Kathleen, actually. I work with Kathleen at Conscious Calendars, and I'm currently starting to learn Vedic astrology myself, which is one of my really deep interests right now. And I'm also a yoga teacher, and I'm in Iowa City, Iowa. I really care about merging yoga with social justice and social activism and spiritual activism, and in particular, liberation for queer people and transgender people. So I really, that's really where my approach is with spirituality and the work that I'm kind of putting together in my life right now. So I'm excited to kind of stay in the loop and stay in touch with this group. Thanks, Kathleen, for inviting me. I'm glad I had the evening free to join.
So good. Thank you, Zachary. I love that.
Lovely. Amazing.
Definitely here to support.
Yes. Wonderful. Oh, this is so fun. Okay, if you didn't get a chance to share, we will have time a little bit later where we can hear from you. Also, if you have something fun you want to share, a link to a site that you have or a project, please feel free to share it in the chat.
Mhm.
And now we're going to move on and get to dive in with one of our amazing, beautiful speakers, community members. Udo is going to be stepping in with us, and Shine, you are going to give a momentary love to Udo, and then we will jump on in.
Yes. Well, Udo is one of the most fun people that I've met, and he has quite a beautiful, colorful past that I've had the pleasure of hearing about a few times. And he's an amazing speaker, and we're super excited to have him here. Udo, do you want to come on? Oh, where are we going?
Did we lose him?
No, we haven't lost me.
Gotcha.
You just found me.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So
so
we wanted to jump in just for a few minutes. If you share a few minutes about your passion, what you're up to, something exciting, and then we'll leave a few minutes at the end for some Q&A. So if anyone has any questions.
okay, so I had the really good fortune to be born during the Second World War. So I just turned 79. I was born in 1942. Before I was 3, we were refugees fleeing out of Poland westward with the communists chasing us in tanks and trucks. And the Allies, who were supposed to be the good guys, were shooting at us from planes. We were on dirt roads in horse-drawn hay wagons, women with young children trying to get out of the mess. And I say I had the good fortune because it didn't seem like a good fortune at the time, because it was chaotic and it was fear. I don't remember much other than the feeling, the anxiety, and nothing to trust and nothing to depend on. And you'd get one instruction from mother one day, and the next day you'd get a completely opposite instruction, just because everything was so topsy-turvy. And I grew up really shy just because I didn't trust anything and I never felt safe. I got into books very early because books were safe. You know, you can read about a war, but it's not the same as getting shot at, right? And so when I was 6 years old, I remember listening to adults argue, and it always really bothered me. And the thought came to me, and what they were arguing about was really stupid. It was like really trivial stuff. It was like, why is this important? You know, it's not even important to a 6-year-old. How important can it really be? And it occurred to me that there must be a way that people can live in harmony. And then this little cocky voice, and I'm going to find out how, just like a 6-year-old who doesn't know how complicated everything is, right? And that's been really been my driver all my life. So when it came to learning, I got into science because I wanted to know how things work. Because if you're not sure how, you know, what you can count on, then if you understand how things work, that gives you a certain amount of, you know, predict and control, right? Then I got into biosciences to figure out how creatures work. I found it so fascinating. And then I got into psychology because I wanted to know how thinking works, because that seemed like important. Then I got into medicine because I wanted to know what health is. And we only learned about disease there. And we were actually told in first-year medicine that a doctor should always sound as though he's going, although he knows what's going on, even when he doesn't. In other words, make shit up, right? If you don't have an answer, just make shit up, because experts are supposed to have answers, and it's bad for your reputation if you don't come up with an answer. That's when I left medicine. So I went back into biochemistry and genetics, eventually left university because I still hadn't found what I'm looking for, as YouTube so beautifully sang, and got into self-knowledge because I actually needed to know how I work. And in that process, I discovered, really with help from some very great people, I discovered, I discovered the peace I was looking for in my chaos, because the world is always in chaos. On the surface, the world is always in chaos, but all of this chaos takes place in a sphere of absolute peace. Peace is always everywhere, has always been everywhere, is never not anywhere. Peace, peace, that thing we don't know. But the trick is that only peace knows that. See, you can't, if peace in you isn't doing the looking, then you will not see peace. If anger in you is doing the looking, you'll see enemies. If fear is doing the looking, you'll see danger. And then what you see, you will respond to. So that you will create danger where there is none. You will create enemies where there are none. And then you will react into the world as though it was filled with enemies or with danger, when the truth is, from the deepest place, the world is filled with peace. And if you can bring your awareness into the core of your being, where your access to that peace lives, to that peace that is everywhere lives, then you're going to see the world as a peaceful place. And then you're going to express yourself into the world from a peaceful place. And that's how we change what needs to be changed. We cannot change it if nothing in us changes. It's not, the problem is not out there. The problem is in here. The problem began with our disconnection from ourselves. And that disconnection is part of every human being's journey, because inside our mother's womb, we were in that peace. We were in, I call it the Buddha tank, because in the womb, there's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. Everything's taken care of, and it's relatively safe. So what did we do? We were hanging from a little cord in a little salt bath, not acid bath, salt bath. And our awareness, because it had no place to go, was at rest inside, in its source, in life, and beyond life, in awareness. And so we were present inside, absent outside. And then we were born, everything changed. So now we had to get to know the world, and we automatically went out into the world through our senses to monitor change, because we have to assess change for survival. And it's a learning process. And at one point you have protection from mom, and then you have protection from school, and then you have protection from maybe extended family and friends. But in the process, we become dependent on the outside, present outside in our awareness, and disconnected, absent inside. And that disconnection is where heartache begins, whatever you call that uneasy feeling that you feel in your chest, that is triggered by 1,000 different things ending on the outside, feeling of loss, feeling of grief, feeling of loneliness, feeling of longing, feeling of separation, blues, if you had a shit fight with somebody that you didn't see coming, always in the same place, always the same feeling, named by 1,000 different names, depending on what triggered it. But that feeling actually has nothing to do with the world, with the outside world. That feeling is actually my heart calling my awareness to come back home inside to its source in life. And in that return home, which has to be deliberate, because there's nothing inside going, hey, look at me, look at me. Heartache is the starting point. In that journey back to reconnect is where I find everything there. I find my wholeness there. I find my health there. I find my purpose there. They're all already existing within us. It's just we're looking at it from the outside through filters. And what we need to do is we need to become connected and whole again. By the way, that's the message of all the masters. That was the message of all the masters. And they all said that what we have, what I have, you have. And they were teachers of human nature who will fully present in all of their being. Because how are you going to teach human nature if you're not able to be present in your whole being? Because it's not just academic. There's so much of human nature is not academic, but it's felt, and it's cognized, and it's energetic, and it's environmental. And so there are 8 pieces to that. One is internal awareness. Second is life energy. By the way, we are solar energy. Go into green leaves, get stored there, excite electrons, which then form bonds between atoms to make molecules. Those molecules become our food. We eat those molecules and we break them down again, and that solar energy is released, and that's our life. And by the way, we are that energy. Because if I say to you, hey, Kelly, whose body is that? What would you say, Kelly? Oh God, I'm going to get a cosmic answer here. No,
Which
but if
Kelly?
Huh?
I was going to say, which Kelly? Was that for me?
Oh, okay, you, yeah, sure.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I just didn't want to.
So most people, if you ask them that question, they say, well, this is my body, right? Whose body is that? Well, it's my body, right? But when you say this is my body, you have just said that you are not the body. I've just said that your body is your property, you own this body, right? Just like, whose house is that? Or whose apartment is that? Or whose bed is that? Well, if you say, well, this is my bed, you're not the bed, you're the owner. Well, this is also true for the body. We don't live like that, but it's even in our language. So if you're the owner of the body, of your body, then who are you? And most people, sometimes they'll say, well, I'm Udo. No, that's just a label somebody stuck on me. So who am I? I am life. I am solar energy. And that energy is omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient in my body, runs everything, weighs nothing, and is the reality of my individual existence. Solar energy. And when I tap into that internally, bringing my awareness back inside, I have the experience of light, of sound, of love, feeling, of sweetness. And that energy is the master energy. Life is the master. And all the masters who talked about it were all talking about the master that is the essence of your being. How important is it to get to know that? Because when you do, you feel whole. And not only do you feel whole, but you feel one with everyone. You want to unite, the first step is unite with yourself. And then when you're united with yourself, then guess what? You're not talking about, oh, this guy's got black skin, because that's just his property. He's light like your light. He's that sound like you're that sound. He is life like your life. There's 8 billion people like that. There's not a single human being who's ever been born that didn't have the master living inside running the show.
Yes.
And when we cultivate that, you know, going back to the kid, you know, the 6-year-old kid, how do we live in harmony? First is the harmony with self. And then we begin to express ourselves as an expression of harmony to other people into the world and into the world. 8 billion people can do that. And that, in my view, is the great transformation that is now 200,000 years overdue.
Amazing. What a good download, Udo.
That's juicy.
So good.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So you had enough?
That was very juicy. By the way, Udo does some other stuff, but so good. Do you want to share a moment about your oils and things, or shall we come back to that?
Well, let me do it very quickly.
Do it.
I'm probably best known for developing an industry of making oils with health in mind. I developed a method for doing that because they're very sensitive. They're damaged by light, by oxygen, by heat. They're the most sensitive of our nutrients. They are most easily damaged. They need the most care, and we give them the least care because we throw oils in the frying pan and turn them into smoke. And when we fry oils, the carbs we fry increase inflammation and cancer. The proteins we fry increase inflammation and cancer, or risk of cancer. And the oils we fry increase risk of inflammation and cancer. More health problems, physical health problems, come from damaged oils than any other part of nutrition. And more benefits come from making the oil change that the body needs to oils made with health in mind, the way nature made them, undamaged, protected from light and oxygen, not used for frying, than any other part of nutrition. So I work with that, and then I also work with digestion. When you cook foods, you destroy enzymes and kill probiotics that are naturally present on raw foods. And raw foods was nature's mandate, was life's mandate for how to eat in nature. And when you cook your foods, you destroy and kill those. Those then need to be replaced. So, and all that's about is bringing ourselves back in line, back into alignment with the natural system, with the natural system, out of which the body came, and within which the life created a genetic program to adapt to living in line with that. When we get out of line, we can't stay healthy. The program doesn't work when we get out of line with nature. So it's always, everything that's wrong on this planet is about us getting out of line, either with nature or with our nature. And so I basically work on that, and it's all simple stuff. I mean, it's not like really complicated, fancy formulas that, you know, it's the simple stuff we forgot. We just got out of line. We cooked the food. Fresh, whole, raw, organic was the standard for every creature in nature.
Yeah.
And that was the, you know, and fresh, whole, raw, organic, mostly whole food, plant-based, is actually the way, and the research has caught up with that. That's always been true, but research now shows it, that you want to live the longest, healthiest life, you do it on a whole food, plant-based diet with plus vitamin B12. And you know, but you have to get in line with in your thinking and in your social activities and in your environmental activities. That's all part of how we create health on the planet and how we return to the original Garden of Eden in which we still live, except we keep shitting in it. So we're So we shit in our nest and then we nest in our shit, whether that's physically or mentally, emotionally, socially, or, you know, that's what we've done for 200,000 years. And God damn it, it's time for change.
Mhm. I love it. I have a similar story of when I was in my 20s, I think. I started seeing all these problems in the world, and then saw that if everyone could internally overflow with happiness, that a lot of those problems would disappear, that people would find solutions for things or however that needed to happen. And at the same time, I was learning about my inner world and how when I feel something, if I'm just sitting with it and if I let it sort of simmer and flow and I don't do anything, I'm just present, that any negative feeling will sort of dissipate and release, and there'll be this peace and this joy and this wholeness underneath. And every time it just kept happening, and I started to disassociate from identifying as my emotions and saying shine is sometimes nice and sometimes not nice. But at that time my name was Kelly, and that was my birth name. And I started to identify and say, actually, I am pure love, always. Sometimes I get in the way, or sometimes my ego or whatever gets in the way, and I can act out of alignment. But at the core, I am pure love. And that's how I ended up taking the name Shine, because I wanted a little reminder. Also, because I was a musician, I wanted.
It's your solar energy.
Yeah. And then Unite is sort of an expansion of that, where we want to create a platform that helps people find the best tools for them to come back to their light, to come back to their wholeness. And whether that's physical tools like nutrition or mental tools, like Viola is going to share about mindset, and then you shared. And so, yeah, really excited. I totally share a lot of.
And you reminded me of something. You know, we don't like this feeling. This feeling is calling us home. And instead of coming home to it and sitting with it, we do either distract ourselves, explain it away, ignore it, deny it, or blame somebody for it or something for it. And the key to making the transformation is that you actually sit with your heartache, that you sit with your emptiness, that you sit with that restlessness, that you sit with it and you just be with it. No judgment, just feel it, just feel it. Just feel it. And that far behind it, less than a hair's breadth behind it, is the wholeness from which you got disconnected by the process of being born.
Oh, good.
That's so juicy.
So good.
We're at about the time that we wanted to finish this segment, but if you want to stay on, Udo, and then do some Q&A after, that would be delightful.
Yeah. I've had the privilege of being at events and hosting events where Udo we were able to give him many hours of time and wonderful Q&A, and I could listen to Udo forever. So yeah, this is just a little piece, and you do have a website that we've shared links that has more information about what
udoschoice.com.
Yeah, about your oils.
udoschoice.com is for the around the products.
Yeah.
And then theudo.com is about educational and courses and things like that.
And you're always looking for opportunities to get out there, speak. You really want to share. That's like your big mission.
Right now. I'm an educator. I have honestly, I found the thing that Harmony is based on. It's biological, it's built in, and I want 8 billion people to be able to live their life lit up from within.
I love it.
That's my goal.
I love it. We share the same mission, and I'm super excited to collaborate.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here with us, Udo.
That was the best. That was so good. You're so good.
Juicy.
I love it.
Such a good download.
So now we're gonna take a tiny minute to enjoy Karen again.
Yes, Karen's going to give us another little taste of her magic, and hopefully if we can kind of have like 5-7 minutes and then have a few minutes where we actually get to hear from your voice and actually hear where we can find more of your music, and if you have any upcoming events, etc., so that we can all get more of the Karen.
Yeah, take it away.
Take it away, Karen.
Okay.
I always feel like I shouldn't talk after something like that. Maybe just let everyone drift off into magical heaven and just call it a night. But we do have other amazing stuff planned, so we will just gently ease back into it and let everybody hear a moment from you about why you do what you do. I mean, other than we all think it's amazing and we just listen to you forever, what's your why for bringing us this magic, and where can we find more?
Yeah, so thank you for what you guys are doing. Thank you for being you. Thank you for inviting me. And this is just absolutely beautiful. And it really, truly goes to show just my trust in the universe, my knowing in the universe, and how much love the universe has for all of us. 2019 January, January 1st, 2019, I sat down and decided to write out what I wanted my life to look like a year from then. And I wanted a career that felt fulfilling, that felt uplifting, that felt inspiring, that felt full of love. And in July of 2019, I randomly came across on my Facebook a sound bath, which I had never even heard of. And I went to it, and my life completely changed. I laid down and I could viscerally feel every single cell in my body transforming and releasing, and I could tangibly breathe the vibrations into my whole being. They were physical. The vibrations were physical. I was receiving them into my body, and I went home and signed up for an individual session with the lady, and then we connected, and I was like, I need to buy some of these. Where do I go? How do I buy these? And I bought a whole set of frosted crystal bowls. I bought a set of crystal pyramids. I went to go get a Reiki session from the lady who was hosting that event. I shared with her that I was excited about these crystal pyramids I got, and she said, oh, perfect, you can come be my sound healer for my retreat next month. And I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I want these things. And she's like, oh no, it's fine, you can come and be the sound healer. And I was like, okay. So I started watching like a million YouTube videos just to kind of see, like, what is this about? I just learned about this. But through that, so not only did I say I wanted this thing that's inspiring and fulfilling, then I found these crystal bowls, and every component of it has literally fallen into my lap. It's been like, here's this thing, here you go, Karen, I'm going to give this to you. Just this absolutely incredible unfolding of everything. And it's the ease and flow at which I've been able to play and receive the sounds and understand what's happening on a vibrational level, on a frequency level, hearing how these tones are interacting with each other and with the beings that are involved here now, in the future, in the past, like all interconnected, is like, this is part of who I am. This is an absolute part of who I am, and I got to find it and step into it, and the unfolding of it continues. I mean, I feel like each day it's like, okay, like here's this new expansion, and then the next day it's like, oh my gosh, there's more, and then the next day there's more. And even being here today, this is another thing that just shows how much the universe loves us, and me like trusting this process in the bowls. I met Armand and Costa on a cruise last year. It was the last Abraham Hicks cruise. And shortly after, Costa started flowing Wiola, and you know, I went to one of their retreats in July of last year, and after that, now I bring my bowls there and I open and close the sessions. Shine, you posted something, Armand put me on there, you guys reached out. I was like, sure, let's be on. And then the dates that each of us signed, or not signed up, but that the dates that worked out for both of us, like, of course, it's the same day after we just had this amazing Wiola retreat. But the bowls allow people to move through their life. It allows people to find ease and flow. It allows them to release the things that are going on in their day. It allows them to choose to move into some spaces that might otherwise feel uncomfortable. There's just this intense amount of love and like perfection and all is wellness that I experience and sense as I play with everyone that's involved. I'm just like in love with it. I do individual sessions if people like. I have like groupings. I really love to work with people on some sticky topics, like a consistent basis, so that there can be movement and relief in their life. And I also do monthly sound baths. Well, I do weekly sound baths. I have a monthly subscription where you can come every week, or if you can't join live, I send the recordings out. It's just provided so much value into my life and connections with people. My goodness. So that's me. My website is ichoosemyself.net. So I do some other things on there as well, but oh my goodness, thank you so much, and I just freaking love you.
You're such a ball of light. Look at you. Love it. That was fun.
You've got us all teary over here.
I don't know what I like better, the sound bath or you're sharing after.
Right?
They're both juicy.
I feel like you are such a lovely, some sound healers and some, and not to knock anybody, but sometimes they're all in a bliss land, which is lovely all the time. And I love that you're like angel music and like the most bubbly person ever. It's so fun. So fun. You can really feel it. Really feel it.
Funny.
So yeah. Yay.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, it's so fun to have you here. So fun to hear from you. Please share your link to your site in the chat so everybody can follow up and enjoy the amazing magic that is Karen. This is just so much fun. So good. Oh, so good. I get all excited.
Viola, I think we're ready for you, you beautiful souls.
You guys have been.
I'm so excited.
It's super fun too. I was getting Shine to remind me how we connected, and he was reminding me, of course, that we met on the Abraham cruise. I don't think it was the same one that you met, Karen. You guys were just such a beacon. One of the things Shine and I love about community, we love finding people who are turned on when they're just like in the flow. They're connected. Karen, that was a perfect example of someone who's like turned on. You're just like I love that. And I have like this radar, and I can always spot when people are just like, they're just like freaking shining everywhere. And I remember
that's how she found me.
Shine, like that was, it's actually really true. And I remember seeing you guys at the cruise, and I think you were one of the first people on stage with Esther and Abraham at the very beginning, my first Abraham cruise, my first time seeing them. and you guys were right up there, always in the front row, first ones up on stage asking questions. And I'm just like, wow, if this is what like, and I think you said something like you've been following Abraham for a long time and you've been on stage many times. And I'm like, wow, if this is the kind of people that get turned out, you know, get churned through the Abraham system, like I'm like, give me the Kool-Aid, like sign me up. So yeah, it's so fun to have connected with you guys, seen you guys there. I think I kind of thought like, wow, they're like way off, so advanced, so amazing, and it feels so special and such an honor for me to get to have you on our show and get to interview you. And I just, yeah, I feel very, very appreciative to have you guys and to have you tuning in from Hawaii.
Are you in Hawaii?
Are you guys in Hawaii?
Man.
Miami. No, in Miami, but we will take you on that and maybe next time tune in from Hawaii.
Hello.
There you go. Tune in from Hawaii. Well,
It's
you're
done already, right?
It's already done. That's right.
There's an Abraham cruise from Vancouver to Hawaii that we're going on.
Exactly.
Oh, we're on it too.
Yeah.
Hoping it's
So
gonna
that's
happen. Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. We'll pick you up on the way.
Okay, guys, so thank you so much, because actually the honor is ours. We've been following your unfolding and the beautiful love you're spreading, and it's we even commented many times between us, you know, how beautiful it is. So actually, you know, I'm inspired to not saying too much. I'm just gonna leave the stage for Costa to flow viola, just in case there are some questions you want to ask, and I'm gonna tune in from my cell phone in a second. And I just love you all, and it's so beautiful to share this experience with all of you. Thank you.
And I think we're gonna act as the chooser. So if anyone has a question for Riola.
Yeah. So well, Armand, yeah, we wanted to present. We always super exciting. I'll be brief. I do want to say a couple of words leading up to that. So yes, we met. I don't remember what was the cruise where we met.
I remember 2018. It was Mediterranean. The last
Mediterranean.
Okay. Well.
Actually, the...
Oh, now he wants to chat, as you can tell.
Oh, I got so much
there
fun
he
in it.
is.
And
Mhm.
actually, the first time
I remember, Shine, you had long hair. You had a ponytail, and you were in a hot seat too. I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what actually we heard the first time from you about Unite, and you shared this and your Tesla recently you've bought at that time. Anyways, but I've met you both the first time on the dinner we organized in Barcelona at our friend's restaurant. And also I remember looking at Crystal and saying, oh my God, this woman is just stunning. That's it.
Oh, so he didn't want to chat after all.
For real.
Who knows? Maybe he's gonna come back again. Sometimes we have this thing going on quite often, every day, all the time. Anyway, so yeah, I've been a teacher most of my life in the world of dance. It started that way, but even before that, I was always dreaming of being some kind of a teacher, like a geography teacher. And then I remember in high school, I was mentoring all of my friends because I wanted them to succeed, especially if they were struggling. I remember they were struggling with math and chemistry, and I was like really like excited about those. So in a way, this like mentorship role and teacher's role has always been of interest. And then I've done it in World of Dance for like over 20 years now. And then a few years ago, after we've been, following Abraham's teachings for quite some time, going to cruises, these hot seat experiences, I had, I think, total of 7 of them in 4 cruises. They were like growing in the experience more and more in terms of, they started as a 5-minute conversations. And on the last one, when we met Karen, each of them was about 30 minutes long. I had so many downloads, so many questions, on and on and on and on. And in one of them, Abraham shared the excitement about me receiving directly as well. And about a week after that, with the lockdown, after one of my meditations, I was hearing the whisper in Serbian, my native language. And I haven't been really thinking. Hello?
Sorry, I'm leaving.
Oh. So I started receiving some thoughts in Serbian, which was uncommon because for over 10 years in US, I've been receiving thoughts mostly in English, dreaming in English. And, I've been here for like quite some time. And then I've had that whisper a year prior to that in Alaskan cruise as well. And I said to myself, like remembering the conversation with Abraham, I will just see what these thoughts are and I will just record them and, you know, see what comes through. And right after that session, it was only 5 to 10 minutes long. I came out and I said to Herman, I think I've received for the first time. I'm curious to to see what it was and to translate it for you. And it was this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful flow of kind of answering the request that I've had, because prior to that, about a year prior to that, I wanted to move away from the world of dance and business, because I've done the business part of the dance, and I wanted to reach more people. So I was thinking, oh, it would be interesting to become a life coach, and it would be interesting even more I always felt so much respect for Abraham Hicks and for the other teachers and masters I was following, that I was trying to find my own voice. And when I say my voice, a very specific vocabulary in a very specific way. And then every time I would try to like project something, it was just not flowing through. It felt very, very like produced. And so, so as I was having ideas about the programs and things, my meditation took me to the place. I had this wonderful hot seat that was a wonderful experience. And then the flow of vocabulary being unique to me started coming in Serbian, which kind of like took all of the doubts away that it is really flowing through me, that I'm not regurgitating or repeating or flowing through. It just showed me that it's coming really from that wider perspective, as Udo was talking about that inner voice that we all have, that we all are born with, that, we have our focused experience self, and then we have one, which is the wider perspective when there is no boundaries. And that is what we all is talking about consistently. And it's really about not only even about that aspect or this aspect, but the blendedness and integration and application of it. And so, so that's been like a blessing for about a year now. We just celebrated a year of broadcast, maybe 4 or 5 weeks into receiving this. And as I started receiving in English as well, we started broadcasting, and already this was our fourth retreat. That was really, really off the charts. We had, in our living room, about 13 people. So we were ready to start like building things in a bigger way. And our first book is on the way. We're gonna work on it this summer. And besides that, I put all of my knowledge in teaching people how to dance and how to teach other people to dance, as well as I have a background in organizational behavior and sciences as well. So and then with all of the spiritual work coming through, I also wanted to have a specific tool that I can gift to people to get to what Udo was talking about. Is that first thing is the awareness of what else is there but just the focus of self, but also how to dance between the two. So I've created this, it's called Steady Change Method, and it's kind of about to be really fully launched. We just finished the beta phase, and a few people have had quite a transformation, Karen being one of them as well. And so it's anyways, everything that we do, everything that Armand also has a platform called Look Within Magazine, where he writes beautiful things about articles, all message of upliftment. We had another publication before that. I was reflecting that. So pretty much since the lockdown, we have blossomed into what we've been talking about that we want to do, which is focus on upliftment full time. So that's what we've been up to, and that's what we do. And I'm sure Armand will share our websites and everything. And then if you're excited, if you would like to, I can just quiet my mind. It takes me a few seconds, and then you can have an experience with Viola. Awesome. Okay, so yes, it would be good, I guess, that either if Shine and Crystal, if you guys want to read the questions that people write out in a chat box, that's one option. We've done it like that. or if you want to allow people to call their name and they can ask the question directly, that is even more personal experience. Since we're on Zoom, we can do that too. So whatever works for you guys. No questions are off limits. I'm gonna pull up all of my beliefs, judgments, thoughts, expectations of any kind. And the way I like to describe it is that I tune off the feedback loop about the thought. So I get to the soft spot of, well, they call it everything that exists, right? Our wider perspective, our one perspective. And so as the person is asking the questions or sharing the sentiment, the blocks of thoughts are coming in, but as I'm speaking them, I'm not processing them. In other words, I'm not hearing them and then thinking about them. So it's kind of like a one-way street, which then becomes really a reflection of the person who is talking. So it's kind of like the thoughts or access to some knowing and knowledge that everyone has access to individually on their own, but sometimes uses this kind of format to hear it. So we all often says it's your words being spoken through my mouth. So yeah, that's as easy, I guess. Maybe this was the best way I've explained it so far. So thank you for that. Very succinct. Maybe that we might take this for our promotional purpose, because it's always kind of like tricky to explain it. But anyways, okay, if we're ready, I'm gonna go breathe for a second. It takes very few moments. If you've ever watched Abraham Hicks do that, it's very similar. And oh, Armand wants me to sit to be centered.
So sweet.
Yes. Oh, very sassy, this one.
Very important. And if everyone, if you want to just do the hand raise thing that Lindsay is doing, it's at the bottom in the reactions, the bottom right. And then I'll do my best to intuitively pick people so that we have the best flow for Wiola.
Yes, and I don't know how long is the show. We don't have anything going on afterwards. It's a very nice, relaxing thing. This usually beautifully charges me up, and especially since we had Karen to do opening and closing of each of the day of our workshops, and she kind of already. I needed a second to get focused for a conversation, so it will be very easy to go away into the wider perspective, and we can stay as long as you guys want, have questions. It will be our pleasure.
Lovely.
Amazing.
We're happy to flow.
Yeah, normally we end at 7:30, but we have nowhere else to be except here with you guys. So we're happy to continue on. The only other thing we were going to do is talk more about Unite, but this feels more exciting now. So feel free to check back. We have all the past weeks recorded. So you can find those on Unite and hear what we've been talking about. Send us a message or just go check out www.unite.love. That's the new platform we're building, and we'd love to see you there. And yeah, and come next week, and then maybe we'll leave more time to talk about it.
Okay, I just want my husband to be happy. Oh, look at this symmetry and perfection. Wow. That's all it took.
Thank you. You look very handsome.
Oh, thank you. Mm-hmm.
You're very welcome.
Off we go, guys. We're here now, present in this moment, in every moment, at all times. Your wider perspective, really never hiding, really never being without access for you. There is no separation between wider perspective that we are and you from the place of self. We like to say, you're consistently dancing between those perspectives equally valuable to you. The one from the self, where you see the boundary of who you are and where you're making preferences and generating questions. And then the moments where you quiet your mind or appreciate or do and use any tool to get you to soften your focus to the place of as much unfocus as you can get to through your physicality, so much so that you're zooming out, zooming out, zooming out into the wider perspective where the lines between you and others, you and everything else that you observe from your physicality starts blurring. Those blurred lines allowing you to see the fuller picture up until you feel such resonance and softness and that oneness that we represent, that you, from that place of ease and steady and satisfaction and love and appreciation and enthusiasm and any other positive feeling you can really even think of, allow yourself to keep that as the springboard, as a foundation to apply while you're ready to, while you're getting ready, and therefore go to apply your focus to give your attention to something again from the place of self. There is really never any separation. You're never ever disconnected. It is just your awareness in your whole creation process between self and one, between question and the answer, between focus and unfocus, that you're consistently dancing, and therefore your flashlight of attention can predominantly sometimes be in a place of self, and that's why you sometimes might feel like you're not aware of the other aspects, but all of them are equally there for you. All of them are there for you and equally valuable to you. And so if you're mostly unfocused, which there are some that are, then you're looking for more focus. Those are your babies when they come unfocused, learning how to focus, and then the ones getting ready for transition into the next physical iteration, looking as well to have that place of unfocus. And then there is a lot of humans having that focus really piercing through, stretching the limits of it, not only to stay only focused and really settle into the boundary of that which is self, but also to then start finding the balance between it all, between that natural place in which you focused from, and that natural place that you're going to unfocus to, and that place of everything in between, from that unique vantage point that you are, not only in the duration of the physical iteration, but now and the now and the now and the now, as you're consistently, incrementally, gradually, with more or less speed, pending your own question answer dance, moving through eternity as a new vantage point of perfection. And so we're really eager to hear what is on your mind tonight. Go ahead.
Amazing. Why don't we start with Lindsay? And if anyone has a question, just put the little hand raise thing.
Okay. You can hear me, yes?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. So, hi, Viola. I just wanted to ask you a question about acceptance. And it's interesting to me as I continue down this path of self-improvement, self-awareness, self-discovery, and self-empowerment. And I realized that there's some moments where the acceptance of others comes very easy to me. It comes very naturally. I say to myself, they are who they are, and I love them regardless. And that's perfect. And then at the same time, it's almost hard for me to accept myself. So then I have these questions about who I am and what am I doing and where am I going? And then on the flip side of that, I have other moments where I experience where I'm completely accepting myself because I know who I am, I know where I'm going, I know what I want, and I know what I'm capable of, and I love me. And then I have moments where in that same light, that other people are acting and behaving in ways where it's challenging for me to accept them because I want to give my own opinion about what they're doing, which I know is irrelevant because they are free to be who they are to be. So I'm just curious about this whole game of acceptance and why does it ping pong back and forth so much? And is there something more that I need to clarify within myself about the idea of acceptance?
That which you call acceptance, or what really this conversation is about the feedback that you're getting based off of anything you give your attention to. And so everything or anyone, anything or anyone you give attention to is that reflection back to you. What we want to bring to your attention is that as you are in a place of self and someone else is in a place of self, your interaction is happening or can happen from your perspective of perimeter of yourself interacting from that self perspective, or you can be in a place of one and experiencing that other person too. And so when you feel ease and resonance, and regardless of what's reflecting back to you, in other words, is it a positive feedback or is it sometimes negative feedback, you can feel steady. We understand that when you get positive feedback, that it's easy to see that you're in that wider place. And then when sometimes you get that negative feedback, you might feel that you're only in a place of focus and self, catering to the interaction that is birthing the questions. And while that's valuable, you can be, with a little bit of practice, in a place where you're so steady, so consistent, and so steady in your experience of focus that you, from the place of wider perspective, are observing someone else. And when you see any kind of discomfort or variety or preference making taking place, that does not throw you off. In other words, anything that it's less than satisfying feedback back to you has the value. In that moment, you might not see exactly what that value is, but there is always, always, always the value about it. And so if you do not try to dig in that value at that particular moment and allow yourself to go back to the place of ease and satisfaction. So let's say you were soft and easy and you focused on something or someone, and that provided you with the feedback that gives you some kind of discomfort, something that throws you off. It is not time for you at that time to look what's the value of that interaction, what's the value of that preference making, what's the value of that variety observing. But there is value. In other words, you will see that value later in retrospect when you get again in whatever tool you have to use back to the place of ease and steady. And so at that moment, the time is to really recognize it, from that place. I understand there is the value, and the clarity of one thing that is born from that is that you will find that value when the time comes through. And then you will see with a little bit of practice that all of those feedbacks that are coming through you, regardless of them being in a positive or negative emotion, will not have much effect on you, because you will understand that what you experience as a positive or negative emotion at that moment is only momentarily. It is not your identity that you have to carry throughout even that moment for a longer time, and for sure not that day or for days or for weeks, but you understand that you're consistently dancing between your identities of a variety of roles that you're taking, and therefore what a variety of emotions that you're experiencing based off of your focus and focus, or like we often like to say, question and answer dance.
That's really good. Really good. Thank you. Thank you.
And Connie.
Hello, Viola. I'm not exactly sure how to phrase my question, so I'm just going to pour it out there and let you make sense of it.
We love when you have the sense that the question is boiling and formulating. We understand that these reflections are often designed or experienced as such, is that there is a question formulated and now the answer is to be received. And we want to bring to your attention that that is only one part of your creation process. In other words, you generate the question and then you're observing and choosing, get the clarity of wanting. That question is there, that births your desire, that wanting, and it's time for you to release it into the answer. But there is this whole other part of the creation process that you can also have the hands in the clay. In other words, you can really keep the reins on that as well. And that is from that place of ease and steady to generate the question. And so these reflections are not only for you to receive an answer, but to find from the place of steadiness that you're experiencing right now, Costa holding the space of one-way communication, meaning no other reflection of mirror reflection, but steady will come through this way. You have an opportunity from that place of study also to go in a direction of formulating questions you have not had before. And there is really equal value in that as well as you receiving the answers. So we're excited to hear your sentiment and your discovery of question that will lead you to receive an answer to.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I like your analogy to clay. That feels good. So I have moved here to this beautiful, amazing place, and you have been here, and I feel that it is a gift to me. At the same, it feels, it's magic. It's a magic place. And I guess my question is about me finding my voice in my music. I feel like I am in, music is part of me, and for some reason, I have found it tricky or challenging to let the music flow through me, to bring it forth. And I'm not sure why that is, or if it is important for me just to let myself sit here and enjoy the beauty and let that happen first. I find myself wondering why I'm not writing the music when I know the music is here.
Sometimes you can get in your way if your intellect is too stimulated. In other words, if you're focused on the outcome, I will write this music because of this, or I will write this music for that, or I will do something with this music afterwards. In other words, if you're so excited about the sound, about creating the music, if you're hearing the tunes, if they're really piling up in your mind, if you're hearing them, the only time you might feel like you do not want to flow it through is because you might be thinking what value will have for others, where you're going to distribute it, how you're going to package it, who is going to listen to that. In other words, when you get into all of those feedbacks afterwards, and the suggestion is first, you're always doing it for yourself, regardless of what you do, regardless of what you want to present. You're not ever doing it for others. You're doing it for your first, and then in the steadiness of the process and the satisfaction of the process of you coming through, we always like to say, ask yourself the question, if no one ever was to listen to your music, would you still create it? Would the process of creating of the music be satisfying to you? Costa had these thoughts, definitely clarity of these thoughts so many times as this flow was coming through. And while this was so exciting, Armand's desire, he thought he was joking when he was saying, when are you starting to receive directly? Because I want to have access to this all the time. Understanding that where they got the variety of ideas of how the format of this can look like and experience be is with someone who's been doing it for over 30 years. Beautiful World of Abraham Hicks created so much satisfaction and ease with millions of people around the world, and therefore that being the starting point, and that being also the measuring tool. Who is going to listen to this? How many people will show up? How many people will we touch? How many people will see the benefit that we see from this? And sometimes in that measurement, that can really put the pause in your own experience. And while they were going through that and they still look into it, the desire about the impact did not cease. It just got the new shape where people are now inviting them to share their story, that people are now excited more about it only because two of them have focused on the process. They've asked themselves, if we were to do this and no one else ever to benefit from this but us, how often would we do it? How often would we have this flow? And so you want to ask yourself the same question. How often would I play if nobody else ever hears about this, if no one else ever benefits from this? And then from that point on, your movement between this perimeter of you and this within you receiving, coiling, putting it out there, giving yourself the feedback, again receiving, again feedback, again receiving. Once that coil of energy is moving through with so much ease, once you understand that not only your music receiving is the process, but you are the process, every particle of the universe, and therefore every particle of you consistently oscillating, moving, and dancing, then you understand that it is consistency and the balance of that you're looking for first. And therefore that means you recognizing that you are the process at all times. Are you flowing art? Are you flowing conversation? Are you flowing spoken word? Are you flowing flowing painting. It does not matter what it is. What matters is that that is happening at all times. And once you get stability of that through a variety of things that you as a life force are looking consistently expression in, then it will not matter to you who is coming in or what the outlet is or what the tool is. You will want to then be so much more in consistency about it. You will start including others and others and others. And once that consistency is there, once that steadiness between your own question answer dance and allowing your life force to come through you is so consistent, then it's really addictive for others. Then it's so contagious that everyone wants to be in on it. And so when you stop measuring so much and allow yourself to flow, and then allow yourself to balance the measurement and the flow, once they come in the perfect balance, then it's time for you to add the speed, and then the others will come there too.
Okay, I think that is it, because I think that I have been doing exactly that in the knowledge and the knowing of where will it go, who will listen to it, who will want it, rather than doing that flow. And there's such a desire in me to be fully me and to be to bring forth the beauty of me, I guess. But I get stuck in the
to bring forward your own expression of the beauty within, so others can get inspired by that too. Nothing more satisfying. But what you want to do is do a simple math equation. Even if you put as much measurement, as much receiving, or even if you put only 25 to 30% of receiving in the other measurement, you will see tremendous difference. The trouble is when the measurement takes majority of your time and then receiving does not take enough airtime in your own movie of question answer dances. So once you find that, once you're not looking for any outcome and allow process to come through with more and more, you will find eventually and get to this balance. We're not saying do not measure ever. We're not saying go into as unfocused place so you do not interact with anyone else, because that is really not what you're looking to do. You're looking to find that expression and allow it to flow through, and then get the feedback from it, and then quiet your mind and allow it to come through, and then measure it and allow it to come through, and then interact with it. And so that is really what's happening at all times. That is really happening at all times too. Your measurement and your receiving is happening at all times. You're just not aware as much of receiving as you are of measurement, because that's where your attention flashlight is pointing
I can see that.
most of the time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
really,
you.
Really excellent conversation.
Thank you.
Amazing. And Zachary.
Hi, Viola. I kind of want to name that I'm really nervous to ask the question that I'm about to ask, and I think that this is really fitting that this like meeting kind of happened today. But we
want you to know before you go there that that nervousness that you have is the excitement coming through. Sometimes even if you feel a little bit of discomfort or fear, and that starts dissipating in an environment like this, as we told to a friend before, you get to sense that there is enough steadiness for you to allow yourself to ask the question that you have, because what you're going to receive will continuously add value to your receiving of the knowing and that seeking of more and more that is in your nature.
Yes, it is. It is excitement indeed. Because before we started, Costa was saying the concise explanation of how the interaction works between asking the questions and having just that stream of flow. So my question in particular is about confidence in channeling work in general. And I personally have been doing a lot of personal practice in Akashic Records work, and have had a lot of really beautiful insights and experiences that have not really gone out of my own experiences with myself. And I have a really deep, it's gotten to a point where I'm like, oh, this is something that I've tested out and tried enough with that I'm really working with something here. And And so How to Read the Akashic Records book by Linda Howe is the book that I've been working with for the last couple of years, and it's been really helpful for me. But it says, just start working with people, start trying to do readings with people, start working with people. And I haven't, because I am so petrified I'm so critical and so wanting to be certain of my integrity and wanting to be certain that I'm not fooling myself or trapped in something in ego that I feel like I am preventing myself from actually sharing something that may very much help others. And even if it's just close friends or in whatever capacity it ends up being something that I share, I need some guidance on how to kind of move forward and how to get through that. And even as I just kind of released that, I'm feeling a lot of warmth in my heart, and that felt really good to just say what I just said. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say about that.
That excellent starting point that you're at. In other words, I have something I've been receiving. I've been having some results on my own. I'm seeing now more and more. In other words, the call within me is coming through. And occasionally when I feel like including others, I feel a roadblock, which means I sometimes give more attention to the measurement of it. All part of it with your natural experience. In other words, part of your discovery through your own question, answer, dance. What we want to start with, a lot of teachers will come and ask these questions, especially when they're looking to find that which once was just a resonance, once was just an afterthought, once was just something that they felt was coming through randomly in certain ways. And then through their exploration, it became more and more and more consistent. We want to bring to your attention is that anyone that is having experience with you, you are providing for them mirror reflection. In other words, you are mirror reflection of them at that particular moment. And we know that a lot of teachers come to the place of feeling like they always have to be an answer mirror reflection. In other words, that you have to have all of the answers at all times, that all of the answers have to flow through you, because oftentimes, even in a format like this, there is a question and expectancy of an answer. And while that is really always the end goal in terms of getting that answer, it is always also only a starting point for the next question to be birthed. And so you might be even predominantly an answer for a lot of people, like this format is for a lot of people, provides them with answers, provides them in a space to ask the question and then release that resistance and move to hear the answer. Sometimes people do not hear clearly the answer. Sometimes they hear it from the recording, and sometimes they generate the questions. In other words, by listening others and by themselves going into direction and stretching their focus as much as they can stretch and focus when they come in the place like this. And so the suggestion that always follows when someone asks the question like this is that you want to know that your equal value to others, regardless of you providing non-resistant conversation like this or providing some kind of interaction in a place of focus where the two or more selves are interacting. You want to understand there is always value about it, as well as you have mirror reflection for others, regardless of how satisfying or not they are. They're always, 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 infinite times always available to you, because without those questions, there will no be answers. And without those answers, there will no be no questions. And anyway, those questions and answers always happen simultaneously. The moment you have the clarity of question, the answer is born, and then you have discovery until you experience it. And then in retrospect, you see all the steps that got you from question to answer. And from that place of steadiness and love and ease and appreciation, you either sometimes stumble into the next question or question finds you, or once you have some practice, you get to the place where you're the one opening the door for curiosity to birth another question. And so we would take it very easy knowing that even your idea about including others means that you're in a perimeter of it, having that thought. If you were not to have that idea, you would be satisfied with your own knowing. And there is so many that do that, so many that are satisfied with their knowing, And they will be asked once in a while and shared occasionally, but really satisfied with that. But this is knocking at your door. In other words, that uncomfortability, that petrifying feeling that once you get is because you're going into the place of measurement, which means that you're going into the place of desire. We would just not revisit that desire as often. We would check in with that desire occasionally to see how it's developing. And so you don't go so much back into observe, choose, and observe, choose. The clarity of desire is to share it with others. And then once in a while, you check in. When you feel like it, you talk about it. When you don't feel like it, you don't talk about it. When you feel you want to go within, you go within. When you feel like you want to interact, you interact. And you will know exactly when to go. Your feeling system, your emotional system will get you to know exactly how far you want to stay in that place of interaction before you pull back into the place of ease and satisfaction to receive, so you can then be of even more assistance to others.
Thank you.
As we can hear from your beginning of question and now, that was rather easy for you. Really, really excellent conversation.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So good.
Beautiful. There's no more hands raised from the audience. I would love to ask a question, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Well, there might be two, but the first one that comes to mind is about Unite, our project. Wondering if there's any messages that want to come through for the effortless, abundant, easeful unfolding of that project.
We love when we get fortune cookie telling questions. In other words, predictions of them. What we want to talk to you is the balance about your own project. The balance of every project when you go into that place of really looking what's ahead of you, not to look as much ahead of you. In other words, you're ahead of you, or your past is always happening in the now, in the now, in the now. And being present in that now can only bring others to be present in their now. For as long as you are holding the space of now and now and now, the others that are looking for that experience, the others that you're looking to uplift, to share your message of love and unity and appreciation and satisfaction and ease and harmony, will come to that. For as long as you hold the now as steady focus of your attention, more and more will interact in that, sometimes bounce off because they might not be ready for that balance, but always interacting with that in a way that is beneficial and valuable to them for that particular moment. And so for as long as you keep your awareness in the now, knowing that you're keeping and doing anything always first for you, and then from that place of steadiness into including others, as you keep your balance in the now, more will want to resonate with that. More will want to share from that place. More will recognize the steadiness of the now, of the platform that you're having, so they can really use that as a tool, as a beginning tool for them to allow themselves to find first the feeling of it, and then their own system, their own methodology of producing it on their own, which really marks for the most utmost way of uplifting.
That's so beautiful. And it really answers my second question as well about my personal practice. And it feels like it's the same answer of just being in the moment and letting it unfold and being present. And yeah, I really appreciate that. I feel complete.
We thought that would be interesting to answer them all at once.
Yes.
As it's kind of late where Armand and Costa are.
Yes. Are you wanting to continue with questions or wrap up?
For as many questions as there are there, usually when the timestamp is practiced or planned, wraps up around that time, but sometimes there are surprises. This is very rewarding and satisfying and easy and quite energizing for Costa. So as long as there are questions, we'll be here.
Well, I think we'll do one more. We've got one more question to finish up.
Lean.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The question is, I started a jewelry business and it was for essential oils, but now I switched it to just jewelry. But I'm always so scared that I'm going to fail. And that's what's hurting me. And I think that's what's not letting me expand, because I want the jewelry to have healing in it, because I'm very much of a healer. I know that. A lot of people have told me that. So in my jewelry, in my bracelets and stuff, I want to put the healing in it, but I feel like I'm going to fail people. So that's my question is, why am I always feeling this way?
Well, this is really the question we tackled on with the previous few friends. The one about the music, trying to flow through it, but measuring too much the outcome. And the other one about the confidence. Am I going to be able to hold the place steady? And if you measure too much, you will not hold the place too steady. You want to find whatever tools that you have to keep yourself with whatever tools that you have at your disposal for your place of steady. In other words, you feel a little bit uneasy about how you're going to bring this to the world or how much effect this will have for others. And are you going to be able to help them? And for sure, you do not want to be detrimental in any kind of negative experience for them. But regardless of how they perceive that, there is always value for that. And that should put you at ease. So be it if someone gets something that you buy or something that you offer and they do not have the most out of the body transformational experience. That is okay, because that will get them to make the preference and find their own space. You're not here to really, through anything that you do, uplift every single person, but you're there to keep the steady for yourself and see who keeps interacting and getting variety of values for that. So once you release that expectation that anyone who comes through needs to have that answer to come through, the healing effect through your jewelry, then you will understand that they will make a decision what is that for them. That is not your thing to have. Your thing is to receive an idea, to receive the thought, to even receive the intention. Allow yourself to be in the process, so much so that you infuse all of your pieces with that steadiness and love and ease and satisfaction and enthusiasm and more ease and more ease and more ease and more ease, and then allow others to find what any of that means to them. Not worrying that you have to make a decision what will be the outcome for them, but allowing them to have that part of discovery, because that is really what's happening at all times. You never, ever, ever from the place of self have an opportunity to make a decision for others how their question answer dance will be comfortable or not. You can just receive from the place of one, put it in there, and allow others to recognize it in their own beautiful, integrated, blended experience. There is really nothing to worry about. There is really nothing to have in the back of your even mind about these experiences, for as long as you are focused on a process that you are yourself too.
Okay, thank you.
Beautiful. And we've got Curtis.
Go ahead.
Thank you. My question is about love. I've been dissolving my barriers to love, and I have noticed how much my relating to the people in my life is dependent on the conditions of our relationship, and how much that keeps me from being tapped into universal love and to love as my essence and love as their essence. And I feel like I have known for a long time that it's a key, but I feel like I am beginning to understand that key. And I would love it if you could just explain that to me and maybe help to dissolve some of those layers of conditional relating to others.
What we want to bring to your attention is that you're not ever so much so focused and so barriered into your physicality that you need to now peel it off and then be dissolved that all of your barriers are to be dissolved so you can feel that which you call unconditional love. What's happening is that you want to see and dance more between that focus and unfocus, between that barrier of self that gets you to create those beautiful, life-giving desires, and then from that place of wider perspective to receive them into your experience. And so there is really, oftentimes we see friends and we understand if you've been really playing what we often call ping pong between the questions. In other words, too much focus time, too much measurement, too much, even as you say, interaction that keeps you to measure too much, to focus on those conditions too much. And then once you started experiencing through any tool that you have to get you to ease and to quieter mind, is that appreciation? Is that a sport? Is that meditation? Is that giving attention to something else or giving attention to nothing? We understand that once you feel that love, once you feel that wider perspective, it feels like there is a grand prize. In other words, that is the ultimate goal for you, to peel all of the questions, to peel all of the barriers, to peel everything, and then be and stay in that place. And then that place is really always at all times within you. It is not something that you need to peel so you can blossom into getting there. You're consistently just looking within, but that does not mean that you need to shackle everything else around you. You want to keep that boundary so you can have different perspective of everything that exists, and a perspective of focus, perspective on unfocus, and perspective of question, perspective of answer, and all the discoveries between those that we often point as opposite, which are pretty much the same thing. And so as you go about your relationships, all you're looking for is your time with you, your time when you're unfocused as much as you can in your physicality, seeing things from that place of unconditionality. You can get there when your focus is soft, when your lines are blurred, when you are not really giving attention to anything. But then understanding that no matter how satisfying that feels, no matter how loving that feels, there's really no value, much value in you holding on to that feeling of about that love, holding on to it, because in holding on to it, you're not experiencing it anymore. Because in holding on to it, you are then already moved into the question, even though you feel like you're still in an answer. And so understanding that that natural movement between question and answer, between sometimes discomfort and comfort, any kind of negative and positive emotion is there for you to balance out where your attention goes, because all of it is consistently happening for you. A little bit of practice in that, a little bit of practice of trying to get rid of conditions, trying to get rid of questions, trying to get rid of those which are negative emotions. There is really nothing to get rid of because they're perfectly dancing in balance. It is you finding that most of your experiencing physicality, to be precise, around 75 up to 75% can be predominantly so satisfying. And once you get to that place, the other 25 feel like a walk in a park, something that you control how long you stay in. You control how long you stay in the question, and therefore allow yourself to go sooner or later into discovery, tipping point towards the answer, until you're ready to be so steady in your satisfaction in the whole creation process that you're never really holding on to the question and never really trying to hold on to the answer, knowing that the holding on is what keeps you from being so balanced in that you can just be, that you're just so present, that you just so are in everything that you give your attention to, that everything really feels wonderful.
Thank you.
That was great. And even better was Curtis's facial expressions.
We could sense that even though Costa is focused on camera and does not see faces at the moment. In appreciation of these wonderful conversations, your questions bringing you to experience more variety, bringing you to experience more answers, that perpetual, eternal, never-ending dance between question and answer that you're so blissfully looking for, not only to enhance, but to find the balance, and from then propel the speed in which you can allow your life force to express itself in anything you give your attention to. in appreciation of brilliance of you flowing through this and every other physical iteration for now. That's it.
Oh, what a fun experience. That was juicy.
Wow, guys, you're really flowing. Some
Thank you
sparks
so much.
coming through over here.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That was amazing.
Maybe Lindsay, you can touch back with Costa and Armand. I know you had your arm up, but it seems like we just.
Oh, Lindsay will be there tomorrow. She always has millions of questions. I love that.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, yes. No end to my questions.
Amazing. Does anyone have any questions for Udo or anything else they want to touch on?
And Karen as well, if you want to
or Karen,
ask Karen any questions before we pop out.
And we can just leave this going. You guys can play all night. So there's no rush.
That was so good.
That was so lovely, you guys.
I just want to express gratitude. Thank you,
Yes.
everybody, for being here and everybody that shared this evening.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
I
beautiful
love-
energy tonight, guys. Really beautiful.
Really
Oh,
sweet.
So good. I love this container, and I keep having moments of feeling. If for anyone who doesn't know, Shine and I, before we got into building a technology platform, we hosted many, probably 100 events in the couple of years we were working together as a team, and big things to small, intimate things. And so with COVID, when COVID hit, we actually had got the intuition to stop running events right before COVID, which we're really grateful about. But since then, we haven't had our community. We haven't been hosting events, and we've really missed our community. And at the beginning of this year, in February, we started having calls with our group of people to help us beta test the site. And the calls were very useful. We were getting good information. And after a few calls, we started to realize what we liked best was actually just getting to talk to our friends and talk to our community and reconnect. And we're like, screw the beta, whatever, you guys can go on the site and figure it out. We just want to hang out and chat with everyone. And so that's the birth of the Unite show, actually has come through just our desire to connect with community. And I'm constantly, every week, we're evolving, we're going deeper, we're getting better systems. We'll upgrade the internet hopefully by next week, so that one will be solved.
We're getting a mic.
Exactly, we're getting all the pieces, and I'm just so constantly surprised and delighted at how much real connection and real intimacy I feel through the screen.
Yeah.
And I really, I don't feel that this is just a screen and you guys are just there on, you're not really here. I really feel so, we're crying, we're laughing, we're getting goosebumps. We're just, it really is creating that vortex of connection. And the fun part that we didn't have when we had physical live events is that we can connect with you guys all over the world.
Yeah, that's so nice.
This is just such a fun, you guys are such a fun manifestation for us of getting to get back to our community. And so much of what we've been doing with the site and building and getting into the details over the last year, it was such a lovely download. I was crying there. I feel like all those messages were for me, just reminding myself that, yeah, it was all about me. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, man.
You can go away now.
The waterworks, you guys.
I was here sniffing away. I'm glad you guys are far away and you can't see all my smeary makeup. Your Shine's like, do you need a tissue? It was such a lovely reminder to me that to be in the moment, that what we're doing is to connect and to be here now, because building this technology, we've spent so much time in the details and so much time in the future, because you have to have a blueprint for where you're going to go. The tech team, we can't just say, okay, just start building. They need to know what they're building and where they're building it and what's going to do what. And so we've been so focused on little details of, like, when you follow someone, there's two little heart icons, and I'm the graphic designer, so I'm creating those. And so we've been so in the details, and it's so fun to get the reminder that we're infusing all this energy, but in the now we've got to be infusing this into the site so that you guys can all get that spark, that now reflection. And oh, it was just so needed. Thank you everyone so much. I could go on and on and on, but really.
You guys are amazing. You guys are absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, let us know if you need any feedback on technology and stuff. We started last year with just the phone, and we usually in our broadcasts have like 3 different microphones, a camera, 2 laptops. So like we'll share anything we need to get you going. So if you have any tech questions like this, we were literally at 0, and then people were providing us with feedback, and that's how we got to, you know, our camera when we got it was going off in the middle of the broadcast, and then we found like a dummy camera that goes into the power out. I mean, like so many details and nuances until we finally found, I think, just like a month or 2 ago, like a real nice balance. And there's always something that comes up. So if you need any feedback on that, we'll gladly share everything we know.
Definitely reach out. I put a post out yesterday, and Mark, who does sound for Abraham, commented and gave us a bunch of hits. So we're like, wow, what a gift. We're getting all the good stuff.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, he will probably hook you up. That's for sure.
Exactly. So yeah, it really, it's such a fun evolution. I was saying to Shine right before we started that the tech for me is something that we're really working. I feel it's not something that has been my field. It's not something that I've known about. So I have insecurity and want to make it the best ever before anybody gets to see it. And I was saying how proud I am of these events, that we're not waiting to make them the best ever. They're glitchy and they're weird and they're whatever. And we're just trusting that our energy is getting through, and we'll keep upgrading along the way. So yeah, I'm so happy that everyone's patient and loves us, maybe because of all our glitches. So
well, it's because you're so pure in your intent that no one will ever look through this. I mean, we really had on our broadcast so many times, like for 20 minutes things will go off. So you know, the community will support for sure, because you know you're building something, and that's what you want. You want people to provide you with feedback, and it's a mutual support in everything. So it's always mutual regardless of who is hosting. So yeah, you're doing great.
We get to do it together. That's just the tribe and the community. And I think that's another thing that's been so fun for me with COVID, is that it's really reminded me that it's not just the people here in Vancouver that we have to support or that we have supporting us and connecting, but really all around the world. And it is this global happening. Udo talked very nicely about the kind of, you know, time to globally come together. And it was so fun to hear a couple of you say that really your projects and your soul offerings that you're really presenting now have only been able to spring forward because of the great pause that we all took to really do this work together. And now we're getting to all play together. So fun.
I love it.
Thank you so much for doing this and having us, and just so much love and appreciation for you and this whole platform. So thank you.
It's such a fun thing. So grateful, so blessed.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yes.
I love this. Yeah, it's so good.
And we're very excited. One of the features that I was going to talk about, but since you're all here, I'll keep talking, is the love stream that we're getting going on Unite. And basically my vision for the love stream is to have 24/7 live community connection like this all the time. Sometimes it will be a sound healer. Sometimes it will be a room full of people sharing their vision for community or for land or for parenting, and that we're going to have different streams. And there will be the sound healing stream where you can just always tune into whoever's making music, and there will be the yoga stream where you can jump on a live class, and there will be the coaching streams where you can hear from coaches. And that's something that we're so excited to be bringing forward. And we just talked to our team. We've got the quotes for integrating that. We're going to be starting with a Zoom API connection where you'll be able to go live through Unite onto your Zoom. So we'll be able to be doing this more and more and more and more easily, and having this just connection time all the time. I want it to be like TV, but instead of turning on and seeing news and things you don't want, it will be your family, your tribe all the time sharing whatever magic, and then we'll be able to flow in and out and use our intuition to find, you know, who's on it and get that real lifetime connection. So
it's going to be a little bit like Clubhouse, where when you follow someone or you follow a certain topic and someone goes live or tags that topic, then people will get notified. So it's going to be a way to create an audience for speakers and presenters, hopefully fairly easily. We've already got over 500 people on the platform, and so my hope is that because we're not limiting any of the reach, because we're not selling ads, and so we're not trying to train you to pay us for reach like other platforms do. We want to just connect people, and so we're going to be creating tools like ticketing and tipping and subscriptions, so that you know, Costa and Armand, you can actually run your Viola classes through Unite and get paid through Unite, and actually broadcast and promote it, and people can join in, and sort of so it'll hopefully be a really powerful tool to expand the reach, and even for the monthly subscriptions, having that option of people to pay and then join in and see it. And it's really going to be a unique experience once it's getting a little bit of scale and growth, because it's so different in terms of the business model than the platforms that exist right now, which are all based on advertisements and these algorithms. It's going to be much more of an organic reach tool, and it's going to, I think, with not too many people on Unite, like maybe 10,000 is my intuition, people will be able to get more engagement than they are on the major platforms right now, and we're really excited for it to happen. And it's going to be live in the next month or two. So I mean, it's live now, but the love stream part is going to be live in the next month or two. So
yeah,
it's so cool. I'm getting a little goosey just talking about it. So
yeah, and
the
marketplace, we're looking at getting a grant for that to help us build the marketplace, which is going to be really fun. So we can actually be selling products and services. And
another place for Udo to share his oils.
Exactly. Exactly.
And anything else. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. And the happy check-ins, Angie, our lovely sweetheart here, she's in our kitchen right now, and she's working away. There she is. She just helped us get the happy check-ins designed this week. So that's going to bring some mindfulness to the site. So when you come on, you can do a little check-in. What's your emotional state? And then as you go through the site, we want to help people move social media from a mindless thing that can sometimes make you feel worse and worse as you go, to kind of keep checking in. And how did this post make you feel? And how did this one make you feel? And you're not judging the posts and telling them, yes, this is a good post. You're actually telling yourself, oh, this helped me feel better. Oh, that didn't help me feel so good. And that's going to be the algorithm that we use to then show people in the future when someone comes on in a depressed state. Maybe we're not going to show them things that generally made people feel worse right away. We're going to show them things that helped a lot of people feel better. And along with Abraham Hicks kind of learning that different people at different states, sometimes you need happy kittens and fluffy things, and sometimes that actually makes you feel worse. And you need something a little more grounding to help you scale up. So yeah, we're building all these things into social media.
Yeah, it's
so just to make a point about, you know, another platform for advertising oil, I think what is more interesting to me than that is what you're actually doing in terms of creating experience.
Yeah,
because the more, you know, there's experience in human beings that is independent of whether you get good oils or not.
Yes.
And the good oil actually came out of a deeper experience.
Yes.
You know, it's an expression of something. Yes. And ultimately, we want to get back to the place, you know, the place from where the expression originates.
Yeah. Exactly. And
because that's our hot self.
It is. And that's the piece that we're really excited about.
Yeah.
And that's where the name Unite came from, is that we really wanted to be bridging some of the gap between mainstream, more conservative, with the leading edge, a little bit more out there kind of pieces. And the way we're designing the site is on the one hand, for us, for the community, for the people who are already lined up with this, that they need to go inside first. And then also having the marketplace for wellness, having the studies, having the information, having the ability to rate and vote up the people in the community that have supported you, so that the people on the other end of the spectrum who are coming in from maybe a more conservative outside world, who are the seekers, we call them, the ones looking for answers, looking for support, will be able to come through the marketplace and then be able to access all this kind of inner work, a little bit subconsciously at first, because they might think, oh, I just need a get better quick fix right now to heal my body, and then they'll get to learn that they need to go inside too. So
we've already got a really cool feature called Success Stories, where you can share, like for example, I healed some cavities, and the dentist said he'd never seen that before, and I just did a few things, and so I wrote those things down and put it up as a success story on Unite. And so now if someone searches for cavities, you'll find my success story, and then you can, try it and see if it works for you. And we want to do that for everything. If someone's, created abundance in their life, or created beautiful relationships, or healed from something, or whatever, anything that you've created that you feel proud of and excited to share how you did it. We've created this tool that for now is sort of an anecdotal tool where people can share their stories, and eventually we want to figure out a way to track lots more research and science and stuff too, and have a unified platform to really share the leading edge of what's working in real time. And at the same time, we all know that it's all inner, and it doesn't really, the outer stuff is all kind of a nice stepping stone, but at the end of the day, if we're not doing the work inside it, the outside stuff won't work either, or at least something else will pop up. So it's going to be a fascinating game to play, to find the balance of communicating to a more mainstream audience about stuff like this, and then providing also the opportunity to jump into the inner work, as Crystal was saying. So it's going to be really fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Woohoo. So juicy.
We want to express our appreciation too. We gonna have to go because we actually have a few more guests from our retreat that are waiting for us.
Yeah.
And they're leaving tomorrow, so we will just say bye to them. And we want to send you a lot of love and appreciation, and we're looking forward.
Thank you for having us, guys. Yeah, thank you for everyone who participated. It was lovely hearing everybody's projects and stories. I love you, and we'll be in touch one way or another.
Yeah, I love it.
Love
Can't
you
wait.
so much.
That was great. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the cruise.
Yeah, we'll see you on the cruise, if not before.
Yes.
You come to Miami.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that sounds fun.
Miami's always fun and warm.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah, I'm open. I love it. Okay. Ciao.
Love you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you soon. Oh, what a fun. These calls keep getting better and better. That's a good sign.
Yes. Upgrading, not that all the ones that came before
thank
weren't
you, Kathleen.
also amazing.
Yeah.
But yes, and excited to hear from Kathleen next week.
Yeah, so good.
Yay. So good.
Lovely. Oh, thanks
that's
everyone.
so lovely.
What a fun time. Anything else to share before we close down? Udo, mwah. Thank you for sharing. You have such a beautiful way with words and your story and your intention. It just feels like you have such a pure heart, and you really want to make the world better.
Yeah, I didn't like the dirty heart very much.
Congratulations.
I've been there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So good.
So lovely. All right. Well, we will talk to you all soon. Thank you so much. What a beautiful, beautiful evening. Thank you. We'll talk soon.
See you next week.
Ciao. Thank you, Karen, for sharing too. Mwah. It was so good. So good. We'll be in touch. Ciao, everyone. Bye. What a nice thing.
So good. Good night, everybody.
Goodbye.